Yo guys, what's going on? It's Savage here, coming at you with another Madden 17, how to build the best ultimate team. And today I'm going to be teaching you how to decide your user and between the two positions that I use the most in my gameplay videos. So you guys can go check them out if you're new and you're like, okay, let's see how this kid uses. I use the middle linebacker the most, and the only reason I have Rolando McClain and Ray Maluba at the 1 and 2 is to complete the 4-3 chemistry. But as soon as the game starts, I sub in Ryan Shazier, and the other position I use sometimes is free safety, and I like this Eric Reed. And I'm gonna break down the stats that I think are most important. And something that's not even a stat, it's just their build, how tall they are. I need him to be at least 6 foot 6'1". Shazier is 6'1". Eric Reed is 6'3", I believe. They both have 87 speed. Yeah, I'd say 6 foot should be like your floor for it. But other like players, so Ryan Shazier is like a very, very cheap player. He's not that many coins. I think he might be 4K. If you really are struggling to get a 4K card, your boy Sav feels bad for you. But I do have some other players that are budgety. Obviously, you got Corey Toomer, 84 speed. He's 6'2", so even though his speed's not all the way there, he's going, which 84 speed, believe me, that's a tremendous user. If you're a user in the middle linebacker, you're mostly going to be covering anything from a drag route to a post route to maybe just a couple of glitchy routes off the screen. 6'2" and 84 speed is going to get that job done, especially that frame. That frame is going to be able to body most big tight ends up pretty well. And, you know, you got yourself right here, Travis Feeney. 6 foot flipping 4. Now this guy almost the exact same build as my other dude over there, but he's got 84 speed as well, just 2 inches taller. He'll be able to body out most receivers in this game with that 84 speed. Compared to Ryan Shazier, obviously he's not gonna have everything there, so if you're not using him, he's probably gonna suck. Like, I'm not even gonna say stink, he's gonna suck. Especially because, A, he's a left outside linebacker, so he's going to be out of position, so his awareness is going to be even lower than a natural 59. And his play rec sucks, too, so his play rec will be lower than a natural 58. And his block shed, he's 8 less, but he does have better just standard zone coverage than Shazier, but that's besides the fact because you're going to be using him. 83 hit power opposed to 82, and then, like, obviously the tackling and stuff. But, hey, that's really not that important, to be honest with you. When you're using, you want that big frame, that speed. But now let's go on to the free safety, the other position that I do love to use her. Now, the reason I use a free safety sometimes is if I'm blitzing, because normally when I'm blitzing, I never blitz out of a cover 2 set. So my cover 2 set usually is going to have him in a deep blue, and I don't like to mess with deep blues this year because for the most part, they're not too messed up this year. Obviously, the fade routes are still going to be able to torch them over the top. But for the most part, deep blues play like deep blues. Last year, you could literally put a hook zone, and the deep blue would come all the way down, bite on the hook zone, and somebody else would be wide open over the top. That sucked. But let's go and look at what Eric Reed's looking like. So he's going to have that 88 speed with the 6. He's actually 6'1", too. I thought he was 6'3". That's my fault right there. So obviously, that's a pretty dang fast card. He's pretty big as well. But now let's go all the way. Yeah, we could go all the way down to our man Lonnie Valentine. Now, if you guys watched the Madden Challenge last year, this dude was a stud in the salary cap. I believe I think Stiff used him a lot. 88 speed, 89 excel. Enough said right there. 6'3" in the frame. You could throw him right at strong safety. It won't matter. Lonnie Valentine, by far one of the best bronze players to this day. Still, I would recommend him over a lot of players. Now, the reason I use Eric Reed is because I just like to have reds on the team, so you guys are like, wow, Sav, your team sucks. Yeah, my boy, he don't suck. He's an 85. If I had him in there, you guys would be like, what, you can't afford real players? You can't. I mean, obviously, this is a pretty good video as well for salary cap players. One of the best salary cap players you can get out there. Honestly, he deserves a gold medal for his performance in the Madden Challenge last year because he is still to this day probably one of the best users that you can have at the free safety position. And guys, like, just look at that build. Obviously the hit power and the tackling is not going to be there, but when you're using for them picks, you're not really going to be, you're obviously going to use her in the run support if it's going to be there, but most of the time you're going to be able to get a glitchy block shed on your D-line. But yeah, for the most part, when it comes to just straight up zone coverage users, zone coverage baits, obviously you're never really going to use her in man coverage, like man on man. That never goes well. But when you're doing them zone coverage baits and stuff, and you're, you know, creeping low and then you go up high, or you start out high and you bait him to throw it to like a screen or something, you're going to be able to make those plays with somebody who's 6'3", 88 speed, 89 acceleration. I mean, obviously that frame is disgusting. His wingspan is going to be longer than Eric Reed's, and he's going to be able to get them picks in front of big tight ends, big receivers, and you're going to be able to walk all over your opponent. Same with Shazier, 6'1". Obviously, like I said, there's going to be them cheaper substitutions. Let's go find our boy, our 6'4" boy right here, Travis Feeney, 84 speed. There's nothing wrong with that. There is faster players, but these are players that I've used and I've experienced the most success with. And Travis Feeney with that 84 speed and 6'4", being able to reach out, literally, to the routes coming here. He's able to reach out before the routes even complete it and get the pick for you. So he'll be able to lock up the field. Just as good as Shazier in my opinion. He's a stealer too, so that's bread and butter for me. Hope you guys did enjoy. I hope this does help you. And if you have any other questions, if you're using other positions, do let me know in the comments below. I will respond to them as soon as possible, guys. Thank you so much for the support as always. Let's get 50 likes on this, as this is a newer series on my channel. Thank you all for watching, and bye.